Let's see. How y'all doing? Welcome. Welcome to the shoe. Just going to let some people get in here. All right. Hello, Sean. Sean, we're going to call you OG viewer number one. You've been here with this channel from the very beginning in early 2017 when it was on Red Llama Music. And I think another person from that time is Osama. Trying to think about some others that are from that era. But how you doing? Welcome. Trying to find my way back to the live stream. Here we go. Hello. Daniel V, what's up? Come on in. And as we get in, we'll just remember to like the video so that more people see it. Like it up. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to start getting into some things as the viewers come in. It's 1:05. I was trying to start at 1. That's what happens. It's about as early as it's possible for me to get in. So did anybody see this Joe Rogan interview with Edward Snowden? It's very long. It's 3 hours long. So I watched the whole thing. It's interesting to kind of just get an overview of like the state of spying and spycraft from a person that was on the inside and somebody who is currently in exile in Russia. It's a great interview. I highly suggest. I will try to remember to put a link below. So let's start with this. So climate scientists, our profession is letting down humanity. We must change the way we approach the climate crisis. And this is from something called The Conversation. As a climate scientist of more than 25 years, I'm proud of the work my profession has done in recent decades to alert humanity to the unfolding climate crisis. But as the emergency becomes ever more acute, we scientists need to alter the way we approach it or face being part of the problem. Climate science has in large part been a remarkable success story. Swedish physicist Svante Arrhenius accurately calculated how much a doubling of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere would warm the planet as early as 1896. It sounds like somebody who was paid for by the globalists, right? He was bought. Svante Arrhenius in 1896 was a tool of Al Gore and the globalists. He was a master of misinformation. No, he was not. The 1979 Charney Report raised concerns about an impending climate crisis long before we could directly evidence it. In response, the scientific community stepped up its research efforts and has been conducting regular scientific assessments to build a consensus view. Consensus being darn near 100%. Problem is that 40 years of these efforts, however well-intentioned, have not had any impact on the carbon course of humanity. No scientific warnings and no activism has really had an impact, and no political actions, so far. How y'all doing? I'm going to stop for a second and say hello. Natural Progressive, hello. How are you doing? Oz LaFave, who let the Natural Progressive in the room? God dang it. The dude, hello all. Jokes all around. Come on in. So, it's crazy. Welcome, y'all. Rich Diana, keep fighting the good fight, Kevin. Don't let them silence you. They will try. So, listen, I have to address this because it is insane. Like the level of squashing they are doing to my channel right now. Right now, I'm just going to claim that this is probably the most radical channel on YouTube. Why? Because I pretty much am willing to piss off everybody, even my viewers. But anybody from any point of view, I'm willing to piss off and take an alternate viewpoint of. I'm willing to piss off even progressives. Tinkerbell says we now recognize Earth as planet Greta. But yeah, no, they're really squashing the shit out of my channel, and I don't know what to do about it. They're just, they're not counting views. They're taking away subscribers. Remember, if you're a subscriber, if you find yourself unsubscribed, please resubscribe. But in the last week, they've really tried to hold my view count down to about 1,000 or under 1,000. And it's crazy because, you know, usually I'm in the 1,500, 1,700, up to 2,000. They really want people to think that this is very unpopular channel and nobody's watching. But I know everybody is watching because y'all are commenting and we're having discussions, and I'm like, all the people are here, and you know, I know that I'm getting views. They're just not counting them, or they'll count them like way later, 4 or 5 days later, a week later. So they're trying to give the impression that nobody's paying attention, but they are. Maybe the most radical because all the more radical ones have been banned already. Well, possibly Oswald, yeah. But it's really a matter of like, you know, if you're really just saying one thing or sticking to one message, they don't really have a problem with that. But if you're crossing the lines of information, right? Like, I think that they don't have a problem with conspiracy theory channels or channels out there that are totally, you know, anti-establishment on a level that they can be discredited, right? But if I'm talking about mainstream things like climate science or climate catastrophe, but I'm also mixing it with possibly anti-establishment or, you know, countering deep state propaganda or countering, you know, mainstream media narratives, they really don't like that. They just really do not like that. And they are really trying to squash progressive channels for sure, obviously. Natural Progressive, I put off everyone at one point or another. I think that's a sign of, you know, the fact that you're trying to be authentic, you know, not trying, but you are authentic. Right? If I was really just all about getting viewers, all I would do is just say, here's a news report about climate change. Here's more climate change news. There's plenty of people doing that, and that's fine. And I think that, you know, for people interested in climate change, that would be very easy and very, you know, palatable, if you will. But, you know, I like to talk about other things that make people uncomfortable, and that's just what I'm going to keep doing, because if I cannot tell the truth on this channel, if I cannot be true to myself and authentic to myself on this channel, there is no point in me doing this channel. Daniel V says, the Newsweek article on methane pouring out of the East Siberian Arctic shelf is the most important article you've read this year. It's pretty damn important, and considering how minuscule the coverage has been by the mainstream media and by other outlets. You know, I mean, it was just another news item, and back to Trump, and back to the Ukraine, and back to Syria. You know, anyways, methane is bubbling out of the Arctic at record levels, 9 times the average. And anyways, how about those Kurds? Not to say that the welfare of the Kurds is not important. That's not what I'm implying. I'm just implying that, you know, the Kurds are an important story. However, you know, we might want to think about the fate of the entire human race. We might want to like widen the lens of our camera a little bit and take in like where humanity is going as per the Titanic. Thank you, Natural Progressive, for your super chat. We need uncomfortable discussions. Well, they're also doing this to try, they're also kind of squashing the channel to try and demonetize me. They demonetized, so the last week I uploaded 5 videos for the week, because that's kind of what I've been doing lately, and I'll explain why I've been doing that. They immediately demonetized 3 of the videos. And I'm going to cover this in another video very soon, but there were people watching my video while they were private, people at YouTube, or possibly, you know, security, whatever people. If I really want to get paranoid, maybe people at intelligence agencies, I don't know. But, you know, people at YouTube were watching my video, and they were still private. I had, you know, 10, 7, multiple views of this video. So people were watching it and probably trying to figure out what to do about me and this channel. I just find it interesting. I took a screenshot of it, and I will show you guys in, you know, a video this weekend what's going on. Boiled rope lamppost, Kincaid fire over 10,000 acres in Sonoma County, 0% contained. Yes, and right now it is extremely dry, and it's super hot here. It's been about 100 degrees the last couple days, even though they won't say it's 100 degrees. They'll say it's 90-something. It's pretty much 100 degrees. Very low humidity, high fire danger. They are cutting power to some people in Southern California and Northern California. Boiled Rope Lamppost has been watching Collapse Chronicles. Yep, it's a good channel. Natural Progressive says, buy a comment instead of a coffee today. Support each other. Remember, it is super chat. We want Kevin on live. Thank you. Thank you, Natural Progressive. Yeah, you know, it helps keep this channel going. Somebody in the comments a few days ago was like, oh, I'm upset that you monetized your channel. Look, I do get some donations, and I appreciate all of those donations, but it really, really helps me to keep this channel going if it's monetized. So, and in that sense, you know, if you guys want to contribute to the channel, I really, really appreciate it all the time. But just watching and viewing and liking and sharing these videos, that helps me to, you know, make a few pennies on this channel here and there. Thank you guys. Remember to like the video so that more people can see that I'm live. We have 37 viewers right now. Read post above about old water fire. Where is this at? Hold on. Alert, have you heard about the old water fire, Waterman Canyon, San Bernardino, moving up the mountain? I have 2 dear friends who live in Running Springs, hoping the officials get control of this. I hope so too. Boiled Rope Lamppost, thank you for the super chat. Keep it up, brother. Yes, there's fires happening. They are anticipating some fires this weekend, and this week there are, you know, as a reminder, as you drive around Southern California, there are burned hillsides. The brush is extremely dry. The trees are extremely dry. The air is extremely dry. The conditions are ripe for some fires. Thank you guys for joining in the live chat. We got 43 viewers. Roy Dobson says, so it seems as though the methane bomb in Siberian sea shelf might just be exploding. It might be that time. CB Unglesby, hi all. The dude says they should have swept the forest. Sad. Their forest sweeping activities are not what they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, to get back to this article a little bit about climate scientists letting down humanity, you don't say. There are times when economic hardships temporarily stalled emissions, such as the oil price shocks of the early 1980s, the collapse of the Soviet bloc, and the 2008 financial crisis, but these had nothing to do with climate policy. If we continue this exponential rise for just 5 more years, we will have already exhausted the carbon allowance. Well, And speaking of the methane bomb, speaking of exponential rise, we already have a rise in emissions, and once the methane bomb really starts to get going as a feedback loop, we're going to have even more carbon in the air and more heating, and that's going to be feeding back, and we're going to be getting hotter faster in the next few years. Our painful sluggishness to act is not the fault of scientists, but the crisis is now more urgent than ever, and our current approach to it is starting to make us part of the problem. It isn't scientists. It's the fact that people don't want to listen to scientists, and now they want to say that scientists are in the pockets, if you will, of the predominant paradigm. IPCC is a chief culprit for this. Scientists across the world that contribute to the body's reports must heed its track record of mistaken conservatism and adjust their approach going forward. I read an article that basically stated the same thing a few months ago. Scientists are not raising the alarm. They are not being alarmist enough. The alarm bells need to be clanging. All systems on deck. All systems go. All hands on deck. Red alert. And faster than expected. Sean, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Sex Vahem says we should have more fun because we don't have many years left. Trust me, I am trying to have fun. I'm trying to as much as I worry about this, as much as I spend time doing this channel, I also spend a lot of time just trying to enjoy the life, I mean, I'm not going out, trying to go on a, worldwide jaunt to Europe or, transatlantic trips and whatnot. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to go out and buy a bunch of toys to get all my goodness in. What I'm trying to do is just enjoy the people around me and enjoy doing things in nature. Mostly I love going to the ocean. I love going hiking. I love just hanging out with my kids. Just doing simple things, I have to say a guilty pleasure is I go to the movies a lot. It's cheap. It's local. It's an escape. And I escape into the movies sometimes. The dude says there's no damn carbon budget, even though the movie industry is a terrible, they're really bad about, they try to be green or whatever, but the movie industry itself is, a big contributor to carbon emissions. And they just suck up resources willy-nilly. They do not give a crap. CB Unglesby, when are you coming east? I don't know. I usually come right now. My eastern trips are relegated to once in the summer to go visit my brother. My brother is close to you though, so maybe the next time I get out there, maybe I can rent a car and come give you a visit. I'm not doing any touring. Unless somebody buys me an airplane ticket somewhere to go play a show, I'm not really touring to play shows. That may change a little bit, but I'm not really, I'm not really interested in getting in a car and driving all over the United States right now, and I can't. And Tom R. says, here in Colorado, Magical Thinking Barbie, hello. Valhalla, what's up? Astro Master says, massive multi-billion-dollar anti-climate science propaganda campaigns waged past 2 decades. That's what we're up against. Yes. And I just saw an article about that. I don't know if I'm going to read it today, but probably in the next few days. Simon Scuriaga, I hope I'm pronounced that right, listening eagerly from Hastings, UK. How you doing? UK checking in. We have 50 viewers. So hit the like button, you guys. So the more people that like this video, the more people will see that I'm live, and the more people that will tune in. The dude says my eye starts twitching every time I hear the mythical term carbon budget. We do not have a carbon budget. We have already used the carbon budget. We are in negative carbon budget. I wholeheartedly agree. We've already burned enough. So what's the number? I think we've burned enough fossil fuels. We've already emitted enough carbon into the atmosphere to go 3 degrees, right? Is that what it is? And if that's true, then we are way past the carbon budget. Valhalla says Natalia Shakova scared the shit out of everybody in the 2013 Nick Breeze vid, then pretty much shut her mouth. CB Unglesby shared you out. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Carbon budget is a ridiculous concept, says the Natural Progressive. Oh, so I want to move on to this thing, this article, which is wild, but totally like, you know, but of course moment. Qatar, or Qatar, as it's supposed to be said, now so hot it has started air conditioning the outdoors. Giant coolers, right? So we already have giant heaters, outdoor heaters, because, you know, that's a really good, you know, use of energy. But no, now we're going to have giant coolers in public areas, accelerating climate crisis further by using electricity from fossil fuels. Temperatures in Qatar, one of the hottest places on Earth, have risen so much that authorities have installed air conditioning in the open air, including in streets and outdoor markets. Whoa. The country, you know, but of course they are. The country, where summer temperatures now reach up to 46 C, has already started air conditioning its football stadiums in preparation for the World Cup in 2022. What a ridiculous concept. How absolutely unaware and brain dead do you have to be to hold the World Cup in Qatar? The World Cup itself is delayed because of the extreme heat. Giant coolers have also been installed along pavements and even in outdoor shopping malls, so a cool breeze allows life to go on as before. Isn't that great? That's all we want. We just want life to go on as before. For as long as possible, guys. Because, you know, God forbid that we accept any change, that we accept that this paradigm is no longer going to be viable for much longer. Anyways, but the outdoor air conditioning is part of an accelerating vicious cycle, as the electricity that powers them is from fossil fuels, which emit even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, that is causing the climate emergency. Qatar, which is the largest per capita emitter country of greenhouse gases, according to the World Bank, nearly 3 times as much as America and almost 6 times as much as China, uses about 60% of its electricity for cooling. 60%. But if the air conditioning goes out, not good. Not good. For the people of Qatar, right? So what happens to people? Valhalla, thank you for the super chat for my movie budget. I appreciate you. I mean, you know, it's a total simple pleasure, but I love eating some popcorn and watching a movie. It's a good time. And guess what? They have AC in there. For as long as that holds out, I don't know. What is the temperature right now in my neck of the woods? It is 92 degrees. And you can bet that anywhere in the sun or close to the sun or adjacent to the sun, if you like that word, it feels way hotter than 92 degrees. It's close to 100. In fact, my outdoor thermometer right now, and I'll tell you, the one that's on my wall that gets a little bit of direct sunlight, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's definitely over 100. It's about 102. Pink Barrio, hello. Hi, all. The Bay Area is getting smoked now. Uh-oh. It's happening. Yes, it's quite warm in the Bay. It's quite warm up north. It's warm all over California right now. We seem to be having a little heat dome situation. 61 viewers. Hit the like button so that we can get more people on this live stream, guys. Natural Progressive, another free back loop. Let's see. Let me go back and see if I can see some of these. Comments. Matt Angiano, 75% of agricultural land could be turned wild again and become carbon sinks instead of methane factories. Basil, namaste. Buddy Nair, excellent. I hope the crowd is as big as September 27th. Oh, here's something. There is an action today in Los Angeles. They are blocking. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. They're blocking a power plant today. XR Los Angeles is blocking a power plant. I cannot find my mailbox. Where did you go, mailbox? Please come back. No, that's not it. Sorry, guys. Somewhere in here. Nope. Maybe not. Maybe my mailbox is lost. Anyways, yes, there's an XR action. I'll find it on my phone. XRLA is blockading Southern California's gases. Southern California Gas's fossil fuel facility right now. Let me see. Where is this? They are blocking the Aliso Canyon gas storage facility in Los Angeles. This is going on right now. So anybody interested in joining that, that's happening. Anybody in the area. Basil says lots of woolly bears this year. Is that good? Are they well fed, Basil? Do they have food? Are they ready to hibernate? Shiva says it's warm in Maine for this time of year. Highs in the 50s. Simon says, so what's your opinion on Guy McPherson 2026-2030 time frame for loss of habitat for Homo sapiens? Well, I'd say it's in a high likelihood. I can't really. My position, and it's been the same position for the last 2 years, is that Guy McPherson's timeline kind of follows the Arctic News timeline, which is, that we could see, anywhere from 3 to 8 degrees Celsius rise in temperature in the next 10 years. And I say, that's in the realm of possibility on a high level. That's anywhere from a 50% chance possibility, which is very high, very, very high, to a 90. We have 70 viewers, guys. Thank you. Please hit the like button so we can get more viewers on this live stream. So 50% likelihood of that happening in the next 10 years is, that's already high as it is. I also think that there is a 50% likelihood that, that we don't know if there might be some negative feedbacks that kick in, if there might be some pause, who knows what's going to happen. If there's, we don't know how the Earth systems are going to react. I don't hold out high hopes for that. That's not something I'm hanging my, my hat on or my hopes on, or something that I'm like, I'm not like sitting around like it's going to be fine, or I think it might be fine. I don't think that at all. I just think that that's why we should continue fighting the good fight, why we should continue raising awareness, why we should continue doing everything in our possible power, in our political power, in our activist power, in our personal power, anything that we possibly do to slow it down, to forestall catastrophe. I think we should do that, because if something happens, if the universe smiles on us and gives us that pause, for whatever reason, that if we didn't take advantage of this few years that we have left, we're going to feel awful, stupid, and possibly, I don't know, selfish. I don't know. Not a. It's not a judgment on anybody who doesn't feel that way. That's just how I feel. The fact that the methane is bubbling out of the Arctic at 9 times, that there are readings 9 times the global level or the global average, I think that spells bad times ahead. Rocky road ahead. That's probably what that spells. You're going to have to look at that as a no-duh situation. Like, really? Okay, there's, methane boiling out of the Arctic. The readings are off the charts. The mainstream media doesn't want anybody to think about this or know about this because, dang it, we've got to keep industrial civilization, bouncing along or teetering along or for just a few more years, before all hell breaks loose. We must. Oh, the woolly bears are caterpillars. Sorry. Thank you, Basil, for clearing that up. My bad. Are they fat? I don't know. I'm going to trust that they are. Boiled Rope Lamppost says nuclear winter. We have 74 viewers. Thank you. Hit the like button so we can get some more viewers, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining in. A super volcano of just the right size. And there you go. Yeah, I just, I don't see it as likely, but what if something like that happens? Adam Thomas says many Earth systems are collapsing. Exactly. Even if we do have a stall in the temperature climb, even if we do have a reprieve, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily still going to be able to grow food at scale. That doesn't mean that we're still not going to be losing species at the rate that we are losing species. But if we get any kind of window at all to save ourselves, we've got to do that. Henry Holt, Living the Paradox. Ding, ding, ding. That is exactly my life right now is a giant, unwieldy, ridiculous paradox. Trying to live in the regular world, in the real world, which is totally made up and imaginary, but everybody agrees that it's real, so we'll call it the real world. I'm living in the real world and awaiting the actual fate of humanity. Daniel V, we are repeating the great dying 15 times faster. Exactly. Another brick in the information wall that we have, which is we're not in a good place. 76 people watching. Thank you, guys. I'm leaving San Francisco to go live on an organic farm in Humboldt in a week. Awesome. It's beautiful. Yes, I have family and friends, and one of our longtime viewers just moved up north, and I think, people are making their exit out of urban areas. I'm not really capable of doing that myself at the moment, but that doesn't mean that I'm not making my plans. Pink Barrio says a lot, being an understatement, a lot of work ahead for the environment. Exactly. Cindy Seeley, Global Dimming Feedback Loops. How you doing, Cindy? Welcome. Food prices on the increase, exactly, due to AGW. Keith Boyd, right on the money. Yes, if you haven't noticed, and I think probably everybody has, food is getting just creeping on up, as well as gas. So again, is it a race between extreme climate events that take out the economy, a race between extreme climate events or the economic system just collapsing under its own weight. Gas prices are soaring. They're staying up there. They're around $4 a gallon here in Los Angeles. If we see gas prices continue to do that or continue to stay at the level that they're at for more than like 6 months, I predict that, we're the global economic collapse that it's already showing signs of being very imminent. It's bearing its, teeth. That's just going to kick it into high gear. Basil, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Even if we are on the road to nowhere, we need to pull over and dance from time to time. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, like my good buddy Henry Holt, I'm trying to play some music, swim in the stream. 81 viewers, thank you guys for being here. Awesome. Keep liking the video so we can get some more people on. Siri Ariot says, hopes, best wishes, aspirations, ambitions, concepts, and prototypes are nice. But they will not sustain a global population over 2 billion. And yes, again, that's been a discussion in the news lately. So XR was, there were some XR Extinction Rebellion people on, what is it? The Daily Show or the morning show that is very popular right now. My brain is not working. So, it's, the panel of women, with Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest. They had some Extinction Rebellion people on their channel. Crazy enough. I will probably talk about that video in the future and link it below. And that, the word is getting out. Karen Daly, hello. How you doing? Tori Pergers, hello. Justin McNeil, how you doing? 83 people watching. Thank you guys. Patricia Powell, are we having fun yet? I'm having a good time. This is probably going to be the high point of my day, so thank you guys for being here. The View, thank you. Marsha W., The View. It's, like a show I don't actually ever watch, but I see people discussing the show from time to time. Patricia Powell, Trump is going super nuts. Yeah, along with the rest of the country. Everybody's going super nuts. I can't, let me tell you, the 2020 election can't get here soon enough because I feel like the next year can go in any direction. And with Trump going down the tubes and losing it and an all out, there's just, I see even more mayhem happening in the day-to-day running of the government in the next year. Human, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. All 2019 XR videos on my playlist. That's right. And I got your email. I appreciate you. I just haven't had time to respond to emails, guys. I'm sorry for my lack of communication, but Daniel V, thanks for leading the way. Daniel V, it's the most important topic of the human species. Exactly. Keith Boyd says, we talk about stopping AGW, but how? Well, I've talked about it a few times on this channel. Again, like my rundown is, we're going to need a political solution. We're going to need like a climate change transition force. We need to like requisition, troops from the army, from their bases and their posts, and have like a national force, if you will, like a transition crew, helping people, retraining people to grow their own food, to live in a local, regional, manner. We're going to have to nationalize industry. We're going to have to nationalize the fossil fuel companies, take over energy industries so that people can continue to get, whatever, basic things, right? Basic energy needs. We're going to have to nationalize consumer industries that are totally unnecessary, and we're going to have to shut them down. Take your profits and go have a good time, guys, or, go find your bunkers or whatever it is that you're going to do. And this is probably going to have to include some kind of technology. We could take an entire military budget and throw it into the acceptable technology that might possibly be able to stem off some of the damage that's going to happen. I also, technology aside, and I'm not saying that that's the fix. I think also we need a huge rewilding and regreening effort, right? So instead of a technological fix, or technology being the very last resort. We talked about this the other day, covering the Snowpiercer movie and other, doomsday scenarios. We're going to have to keep civilization going so that we can decommission nuclear plants, right? That needs to happen. We can't let the economic system fail on its own because the dude, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Thank you. We cannot decommission nuclear plants without some kind of organized society continuing. Marsha W says, why don't we just start subsidizing solar and stop subsidizing oil? Yeah, that's one thing that we can do. Although solar, again, takes fossil fuel to create and also fossil fuel to maintain, and we also need resources, mining resources to build all these solar plants. As Lord Hugh Dumbass said, if we want to replace our entire energy system with renewable energy, we were probably going to create more fossil fuel emissions in the process than we are currently releasing. That's an unfortunate truth. Anyway, so yeah, in addition to all of this that I'm talking about, we need to start regreening areas, rewilding areas. I'm actually a proponent of the half Earth theory, that we need to leave half the Earth just wild, half the Earth to nature, that humans should just, we need to reduce our population immediately. Another good video I saw with a spiritual leader, Sadhguru. I think some of you guys are familiar with this guy. He talks about the idea that we need to stop having babies for 5, 10, 20 years in order to reduce our population. He also thinks that we're not going to do that. He's like, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, you have this spiritual leader who's like, yeah, humans are not going to get it together to deal with this problem. We're not going to fix climate change. But if we were going to do it, we'd have to stop having babies. Rick Dworsky says, make survival fun. If it's a drag, no one will do it. Well, another reason to have a political and societal organized fix around this is that, if everybody's involved in it, then we can make it fun. We can make it like a community effort. We can make it something that everybody's doing it and nobody feels left out. Right now, if you're trying to live off grid or do the right thing all on your own, we are the fringe. We're on the outside. Everybody's like, you guys are crazy. How could you possibly live this way? And that's very unfun for a lot of people. So, if it was more of a mass movement, if we had, mass awareness around this, it could be a little less unfun if everybody's doing it. Pink Barrio says population control. Yep. Stop making it a dirty word. Stop making overpopulation a bad word, a dirty word. Shiva says paradigm, a set of assumptions, concepts, values, and practices that constitutes a way of viewing reality for the community that shares them, especially in an intellectual discipline. We're at 84 viewers. We are almost at 90. Please like the video so more people can jump in here. Let's see. Whoever controls a nation's money supplies controls that nation. Yep. Justin says, I missed this one. Justin says we could go nomadic. Keith Boyd says, how do we move away from our current system and high density living? Just not enough space. I don't know. I don't think so. If we lived in, if we lived in permaculture communities, regional communities that were set up, that were self-sustaining, I think we could, keep the people that are here alive, and we could work on having less children. I read a statistic somewhere that 150, and maybe this is wrong, 1,000 people die naturally every single day. 150,000 people die naturally every single day. If we stopped having babies for 5 or 10 years, do some math, how many, it wouldn't be billions, but the population would go down by millions. That would be in the right direction. And most likely fossil fuel emissions would go in the right direction, meaning down. Sadhguru, cool guy. Yes, Valhalla. Valhalla, thank you for the super chat. People did this in World War II. They nationalized and they did it. They did it because there was an enemy that had a face. It was Hitler, Tojo, Mussolini. Hard to do that now. Well, the enemy is us, right? Or the enemy is our system. The enemy is our paradigm. The enemy is our thought process. The enemy is our programming. It's kind of hard when the enemy is something within. That's a much harder ask or task. Tori Perger says, but we are wired to help each other. Yeah, but you have to, again, going back to XR or going back to just in general, we have to tell people the truth. Like, if suddenly tomorrow all the media, all the TV stations and all the YouTube channels, everybody just started saying, guys, this is where we're at and this is what we need to do. This is the problem and this is how bad the problem is. We're going to all have to do this tomorrow. We're all going to have to nationalize. We're all going to have to stop, get off the train, of consumption that we're on. Get off the train of, it's difficult right now because everybody's stuck in this system. But if the media in conjunction with the government said, look, we're going to have to do something about overpopulation. We're going to have to do something, emissions, population equals emissions, spell out that very simple math equation to people. Population equals emissions. So, everybody on board, take a vow, we're no children for the next 5 years or the next 10 years, while we're doing this transition. I don't know. Even then it might not be enough, might not be enough in time. We need a TV station 24/7. Exactly. Well, hey, guys, if there was a way that I could not work my job, and let me think on that. But if there was a way I could not work my job and make this station, a 24-hour or all day climate change news station, how far could we go to alerting people about this, right? We have progressive channels that are all day long. We have other YouTube news channels that are all day long that have millions of viewers. Why not? Why not a climate change channel, an all day long climate change channel? Human says most repeat what they hear on TV. Exactly. Marsha W. Allow those of us over 80 the chance to go to sleep peacefully so we don't suck resources. I'm counting on this. Absolutely. That's a conversation that people should be allowed to have. Yeah, I mean, instead of equating the conversation of overpopulation with, you're trying to kill people. No, but how about allowing people that don't want to be here anymore not to be here anymore? Why not? Allow assisted suicide. If that's, if people don't feel like they want to be here, There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Jay Thadcast says, yes, the enemy is our economics. Veronica says, not vegan. Please go vegan. Something we can all do right away. I mean, industrial agriculture is not a good thing for the planet. And even if you're eating only plants, yes, you are, relying on industrial agriculture, but a lot of that agriculture goes to feed the meat that we eat. And what is the data that I heard? I think I repeated this last time, last live stream. There are 7 billion humans on the planet. There are 78 billion livestock on the planet. Cattle, pigs, chicken. 78 billion animals that we keep alive to eat. Think about the resource use. If you think about the resource use of humans, which is off the charts, like something we've never seen before. This planet has never seen the resource use that humans accomplish. But the resource use for 78 billion animals to keep us alive. That's insane. So if we could take down those numbers, then, obviously we'd need to rely on agriculture a lot less. We could rely on local agriculture. We could rely on, doing different things. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read these comments. Veronica gets it. Matt Angiano. Yep. Wick Dwarski, been vegan 45 years, and I'm still dancing. Yes, yes. Valhalla says, "Aha, yeah, you can do it, Kevin. I can. I'm vegetarian, and I go back and forth with being like totally vegan and totally not. Like the only animal product I eat is cheese. I don't. Oh, and butter. But beyond that, I'm pretty much everything else is vegan. S. Shiva says needs to be a conglomerate of channels. Yeah. Well, there is a conglomerate of progressive channels out there, and they kind of force or push each other to do better work. And it seems to be growing by the day. There are so many progressive channels out there. So why not have there be more climate-centric channels? There's the Natural Progressive. There's Humpty Dumpty Tribe. There's this channel, Collapse Chronicles, Pink Barrio, Going South. Am I missing something, guys? I'm sorry if I am. Those are the ones that I can think of right off the top of my head. There's Robert Fanny. I don't see his videos anymore, and I don't know if he's still doing videos all the time. There's Just Have a Think. There's the XR channel. The XR channel is, I'm sorry, it's a beautiful place to be. I love tuning into the XR channel and watching videos because it's super inspiring. That's just me. Kameshwari Kate says, when I was in 6th grade, mid-60s, our little environmental newspaper talked about world population being out of control. I made a vow never to have children. Mission accomplished. Kudos and congrats. Justin says, start growing your own food. I do grow some of my food. I'm trying to ramp it up. It's just I've been kind of like on a learning curve with gardening over the last year or two. Right now I'm growing some things. There are a lot of things in my life that are demanding my energy and my time, and it's a little out of control, which prevents me from being like a full-time gardener. But that being said, I have a garden. I'm growing food. I plan to ramp it up exponentially in the next year. Natural Progressive says we could do it if we unite all of us climate channels. I agree. We should all support each other. I'm Environmental Coffee House. I'm sorry that I forgot that. My bad. Don't forget to tune into Environmental Coffee House. Nick Humphrey does videos here and there. Nature Bats Last, of course. Kevin Hester. There's, I'm. Please blame my bad brain for not remembering all the channels out there that cover climate change. There are so many. And I'm there's more that I'm forgetting right now. Please remind me of the ones that I'm forgetting if you can. Trisha Francesca says assisted suicide can turn into assisted murder. Well, yeah. I mean, there needs to be regulations and guidelines, and it can't be just like, go kill yourself, guys, or go ahead and help people kill themselves whenever you can. And that is the argument for having an organized society to be able to regulate this kind of stuff. But that's not saying that humans can't regulate themselves if we are educated and aware. Even tribal communities, they regulate. They have self-regulation. They have moral standards or societal norms that they have lines that they don't cross. And if you do cross it, there are repercussions. Valhalla says they could call it the Climate Justice Network and hold climate trials online. Yes. I mean, why not hold mock trials, right? Why not put certain public figures and corporations on trial and have verdicts read or, evidence given, read into the public record? Keith Boyd says we need a Logan Run movie solution, i.e. can't live past 34 years. I do not support that. I don't. I think that's kind of weird. I think we should let people who don't want to be here go ahead and go. But I don't support, at all on any level, killing people because they're obsolete or they've outlived their usefulness, or they're, or killing people because that's just a weird. I don't support killing people, period. Gigabane, how you doing? I know you came in late, and this is probably about to end this video. We have been here for very close to an hour. I've got to cut it off. JThadcast, everyone is raging over teen suicides, ills of pollution. Here is a wild fact that I just found out. One of the highest rates of suicide is occurring in rich white elderly people in the United States. In the United States, one of the highest rates of suicide are wealthy elderly. I have no idea why. Go figure. Maybe some people are just realizing, maybe these people are very in tune with how bad things are and how bad they're about to get. And maybe they're like, well, I had a good life. I raked in billions of dollars. So maybe it's time to go. 82 people watching. Thank you, guys. I'm going to read a few more comments and then sign off. Tim Bob. Yes, you're right. I forgot about Tim Bob. Yeah, I'm sorry if I left anybody out of my list. I apologize. Jay Thadcast says no need for trials. Seize the bank accounts and then the suicides will solve the population. Ooh, most likely. Antonio Reed and Nick Humphreys on Environmental Coffee House. Yep, exactly. Close the hospitals. Justin McNeil. They throw themselves sometimes. J Thadcast, bail-in. So this is Henry Holt. J Thadcast, bail-in is happening now. Yes, bail-ins are there. There is a lot of turmoil behind the scenes in the economic world. Many of the large banks had a emergency meeting a few weeks ago. There's things going on in the after-hours markets. Big problems are coming down the pike. Guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate your support. All of those who supported in the super chat, thank you again. We had, I think, a high of about 85 viewers today, and I appreciate you. I will try to be back here next Thursday at the very same time at 1 p.m. So if you guys can be back here at 1 p.m., we can all tune in and have a little chat together. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace.